Hey, what's going on, YouTube? K-Dog's Kennel here, coming at you a little bit later than I'd like to be. I apologize. I haven't come up to do any type of video over the last couple weeks. I think my last one was my review of WrestleMania 34 a couple weeks ago. In the process of preparing for a wedding, getting married next week, so that's kind of where I've been. Um, I wanted to come up here. We have a pay-per-view coming up today, the Greatest Royal Rumble. Gonna preview that. Try to kind of go through as quick as I can. I wanted to also do a separate video, but I just, again, with preparing for a wedding, having a hard time getting a lot of free time to get videos and get content up to you guys. But I do want to start this video by saying that I, along with a lot of other wrestling fans in the world, mourn the loss of WWE Hall of Famer Bruno Sammartino last week. I think he passed away last Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not 100% sure. But I do know he passed away. And that's a huge, huge blow to the wrestling world. Bruno was around long before I was ever born. But I do know a little bit about Bruno. And although I'm not too familiar with his career, I mean, obviously he transcended the industry back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. He was the one that knocked off Nature Boy Buddy Rogers to win the WWF Championship, and Bruno would hold that title for almost 8 years. I mean, people, in this day and age, remember Hulk Hogan holding the belt when he beat the Iron Sheik and held it until 1988. I mean, that's nothing compared to what Bruno Sammartino did. Bruno would win the title again several years later, and he'd hold it for another few years. So, I mean, all in all, Bruno held the world title for damn near 12 years. I mean, that's pretty impressive, and it's just a shame. I mean, Bruno didn't die of anything. He didn't kill himself. He didn't die of any type of overdose or anything. I mean, it was a natural death. He was 82 years old. He had heart surgery back in, I believe, 2011. I mean, when you have heart surgery, I mean, I can speak, especially with losing my mom earlier this year. When you have heart surgery, that's kind of a big deal. And I mean, I don't know if his heart contributed to his death or if, as I said, it was just natural causes. I mean, 82 years old, you live a pretty good life. I just think it's unfortunate that we seem to be losing a lot of just iconic wrestlers over the years. I mean, you look at, Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper, they died a month apart. We just lost the Ultimate Warrior. Couple years, actually, not 4 years ago. He passed away after WrestleMania 30. Actually, the night Tuesday. It was after he cut that promo on Raw. It's sad. It really is. It's sad to see these bigger than life names pass away. But I mean, unfortunately, it's something we all have to go through. And that's the shitty part. But I do want to say that. Even though I didn't follow Bruno's career, like I said, he was around long before I was ever born. But I respect the hell out of him. If it wasn't for Bruno Sammartino, God only knows where wrestling would be today. So I'm very thankful that for what he did, and all I can say for that is rest in peace, Bruno, and thank you for the memories. Wanted to start the video off with that. Going into this event today, the Greatest Royal Rumble. I'm not 100% sold on it. I know there's a lot of controversy going on with this event because there are no women's matches on this card. For those that don't know, Saudi Arabia has very, 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 very strict laws as it applies to women. Now, I'm not condoning any of it by any means, but I do know women are extremely limited as to what they can do. As a matter of fact, women can attend at this event as long as they're with a male. I mean, it's just that kind of shit kind of bugs me because I mean we should be long past that. Here in the States we are, but I mean that's just how Saudi Arabia is. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's right because it's not. But that's why you don't have like Nia Jax defending the women's title, Carmella defending the SmackDown title. Women's title. That's why there's no women on the show because Saudi Arabia just doesn't allow women to perform in that nature. They don't allow women to, unless they're like fully clothed, like head to toe, and like it's just like I said, Saudi Arabia just has a different set of rules than other other companies, or I'm sorry, other countries and other cultures. So, but on paper, this looks like a fantastic card. I mean, we just had WrestleMania 34, you know, a 7 hour event, 7.5 hour event, and now we have another massive card that I think with the pre-show, I do believe that it is 6 hours. So, and like I said, on paper, it looks really good. It really does. Now, as to how it's going to go down and how it's going to be delivered is going to be another story. So I'm going to kind of blow through these matches really. I don't have anything written down. I have no notes or anything. Um, like I said, I kind of feel like I'm going into this unprepared. I'll be doing a review of the Greatest Royal Rumble. It won't be today because I have to work tonight. I'm going to try to get that to you guys at the very latest on Sunday. But let's get through this prediction video. Not going to go in any particular order, just what I've got going on. Cruiserweight Championship champion Cedric Alexander to go against Kalisto. Kalisto won a gauntlet match on 205 Live to get this opportunity. Cedric just won the belt at WrestleMania 34, so it doesn't make sense to pull it off of him so quick, considering how they pretty much built the tournament that culminated at WrestleMania around Cedric winning the title. Again, it just doesn't make any sense to pull it off of him so soon. So I think Cedric's going to walk out with that. Nothing against Kalisto. I mean, former United States champion. I mean, Kalisto is no slouch, but it's just not Kalisto's time. So Cedric Alexander for the win there. Next up, I'm going to go with kind of an obvious one. The Raw Tag Team Championship on the line, vacated after Braun Strowman and Nicholas relinquished the titles the night after WrestleMania because, Nicholas is in 4th grade. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But we got The Bar versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. The Bar just got moved to SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup. So why in the hell would a SmackDown team win the Raw Tag Team Championship? Makes no sense. So it's almost a shoo-in, a gimme, if you will, that Bray and Matt are going to walk out the Raw Tag Team Champions. So, I mean, really nothing to even go into as it relates to that match. So, SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line. Champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, to go against the former champions, the Usos. Now, Naomi's been involved in this storyline now. I don't think it's going to make a difference. It's again, much like Cedric, it's too soon to take the belt off the Bludgeon Brothers. You've made these guys into these unspeakable, unstoppable heels, and now it's too soon. Will you stop? Sorry, that's my cat. She's getting into everything. But again, the Bludgeon Brothers, it's too soon to take the belts off them. I mean, if the Usos win the tag titles, then what's next for the Bludgeon Brothers? Do you get a rematch at Backlash and they win them back? No, to me it just doesn't make any sense. So give me the Bludgeon Brothers on that one. The Undertaker is going to make an appearance. That's how big this show is. The Undertaker is going to make an appearance at the Greatest Royal Rumble. He's going to take on Rusev in a casket match. This is another one of those matches. It's like, do you really have to ask who's going to win? Undertaker's going to win this match. It's not going to hurt Rusev. It's going to help Rusev that he was actually in the ring with the Undertaker. But at the end of the day, do you really think Rusev's going to beat him in a casket match? I mean, come on. Undertaker's lost casket matches before. Don't get me wrong. But I don't see Undertaker losing this match. Again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it doesn't make sense. Give it to the Undertaker. It's like I said, Rusev's not going to get hurt by it by any means. But personally, I'd prefer to see Jericho. This thing got moved all over the place. It started with Undertaker Rusev. Apparently, he made some remarks or whatever. He got taken out of the match, replaced by Chris Jericho. And then Lana apparently got involved with it somehow, and now it's back to the Undertaker versus Rusev. But irregardless of who it is, the Undertaker is going to go over in this match. That's just all there is to it. So, what else do we have on the thing? John Cena, Triple H. Very random match. I think this is actually the first match announced for this event. People can say it doesn't make sense. I mean, you got 2 first ballot Hall of Famers going to go one-on-one. I mean, it's not the first time they've done it. John Cena beat Triple H to retain the WWE Championship back at WrestleMania 22. Triple H, as the champion, defeated John Cena back at Night of Champions in, I believe, 2008. So, I mean, it's, they're familiar with each other. So, Triple H is at a point now where he's all about putting guys over. And, I mean, putting Cena over is not going to be that big of a deal. I just don't see Triple H, going over. I think it's going to be not so much a train wreck to watch, but it's not going to be a match that, I'm going to be glued to. Like I said, I would love to watch it today. I might watch it a little bit before I go to bed, but it's just a match I'm just not really interested. I don't care. I don't really care about it whatsoever. What else do we have? We have the Intercontinental. I'm sorry. These next two matches kind of go together, but U.S. Championship on the line. New champion Jeff Hardy against former champion Jinder Mahal. I'm torn on this match for a couple reasons. Number one, ever since Jinder dropped the WWE Championship to AJ Styles last year, it just really seems like they don't know what to do with Jinder. I mean, they gave him the U.S. title at WrestleMania this year, and he dropped it, the next night. Or he dropped it with the shakeup. He came over to Raw and dropped the U.S. belt. My thing is, if Jinder loses, what do you do with Jinder at that point? I mean, what do you really do with him? Part of me thinks he's going to win, but then that would mean somebody from Raw is going to win somebody from SmackDown is going to win the Intercontinental Championship, because I don't see Raw or SmackDown having both mid-card championships. So I'm gonna stick with Hardy. I don't think Jinder's going to beat him. I could be completely wrong. I just don't see Jinder beating him. The Intercontinental title on the line. Champion Seth Rollins against The Miz versus Samoa Joe versus who's the last guy? Oh God, I'm drawing a blank here. Finn Balor. So Rollins, Balor, Miz, and Joe. Rollins and Balor on Raw, Miz and Joe on SmackDown. So a lot of people are forgetting that we have another pay-per-view coming up a week from Sunday, and that being Backlash. And the fact that this is going to be a ladder match, I think it's going to be an awesome match. I think it's going to be one of the top-tier matches on the card. With Jeff Hardy retaining the U.S. title, in my opinion, I just think the title has got to stay on Raw. And I don't think Seth is going to lose it. I think he's going to go in, and it's going to be, Miz and Rollins one-on-one at Backlash. I think Miz is gonna lose that match as well. Rollins is what the Intercontinental title needs right now. It needs a strong babyface to carry it for a while, and I think that's what we've got with Seth Rollins. I think he's gonna win. Should be an outstanding match. Multi-man ladder matches are always awesome to see, and I think this one's gonna be no different. So give me Seth Rollins to retain the Intercontinental title. The two championship matches, the main championship matches, WWE Champion AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. If I'm booking this my way, you have to give the title to Nakamura right now. And the reason I say that is I predicted Nakamura to win the title at WrestleMania, and he didn't. That's when he turned heel. Apparently, Shinsuke has something against AJ having children, because it just seems like every week AJ's getting nutshotted after nutshotted after nutshotted. So I don't know what AJ's testicles did to Shinsuke, but he's got a problem with them. But for this feud to continue, Shinsuke's got to win the title. Because if AJ wins, which I would love AJ to win. I love AJ Styles. Absolutely love AJ. But for the feud to continue, if Shinsuke doesn't win the title, what do you do with him? Do you put him in another match at Backlash? If you're going to do Backlash rematch, why not have Shinsuke defend against AJ Styles? Because then you've got somewhere for the storyline to go. If AJ wins, that's 2 times in the last month that Shinsuke's had a championship match, and he's lost. So again, what do you do with Shinsuke now? And the fact that they've turned him heel and all that, they've done a phenomenal job with Shinsuke's heel turn. I love Shinsuke's heel turn. I love how they did it, and I love what he's done as a heel. And whether or not he wins it clean, I feel in my heart of hearts, you've got to give the title to Shinsuke Nakamura. That's my prediction. I think Shinsuke's going to walk out with the WWE title, setting up a rematch between the two at Backlash next Sunday. Universal title. Champion Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns. This time it's inside of a steel cage. I would love nothing more for Brock Lesnar to win this match. Paul Heyman, I guess, is not going to be in Saudi Arabia. I think, for whatever reason, he's not going to be there. The fact that this match is a cage match, there's a lot of avenues that this thing can go. Brock doesn't have to be pinned. He doesn't. I mean, he's not going to submit. And Roman has multi avenues to win it. I mean, he can go through the door. He can go over the top. Wild card. This one's going to be Samoa Joe. Obviously, Roman has a match with Samoa Joe at Backlash. Joe could have a vested interest in seeing that Roman Reigns wins this match, because then his match with Reigns becomes a Universal title match. I don't see both world titles changing hands. But then again, I also predicted at WrestleMania both titles were going to change hands, and neither one of them did. So against my better judgment, I'm going to say Roman Reigns is going to win this match and win the Universal title, because everything about this Lesnar-Reigns feud has been about getting the title on Roman. The fact that Roman lost at WrestleMania, it was an amazing swerve. Thank you, WWE, for that. But then again, you're just prolonging the inevitable. Brock Lesnar is going to go back to the UFC. Everybody knows that. Hell, Paul Heyman's even alluded to it on Raw several times, that Brock is eventually going to go back to the UFC. That being said, with it being a cage match, Brock doesn't have to be pinned. So you can have Roman escape the cage, and it doesn't make Brock look like a pussy because Brock was never pinned. But then again, part of me would love to see Brock hold on to the title until SummerSlam. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would, the Universal title needs to come back to Raw. It needs to come back to being defended, especially with all these pay-per-views now going to be co-branded. You need to have both world titles be focal points on these shows. That's why it's a big reason I'm going for Roman to win the title. And then now it's all going to be about who is going to dethrone Roman. But I think Roman's gonna take it. I'm reluctant to say Roman's gonna take it, but here I am again predicting both world titles to change hands. It didn't happen at WrestleMania. What the hell? It might happen here. Who knows? I don't know. Last but not least, 50-man Royal Rumble match. I don't know if it's going to be the main event or if it's going to be the cage, but last match to talk about is the Rumble itself. First time ever, 50-man Royal Rumble match. I don't know how the intervals are going to work. I don't know if it's going to be every minute somebody comes down. I do know they are going to follow traditional Royal Rumble rules, where they're going to start with entrance 1 and 2, and then people are going to come down in intervals. But if you do 2 minutes like it normally is, you're looking at easily a 2-hour match. And I don't know if you really want to do that. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises in this Rumble, as far as, they're going to have, I know Mark Henry's over there. Hornswoggle's been rumored to make an appearance in the Rumble. Rey Mysterio's been rumored. They're going to have a lot of surprise entrances or whatever, because you've got to fill 50 slots, So you got to do something. I'm going to probably get my shit kicked in for this, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, I know everybody wants Daniel Bryan to win this thing. And I hate to tell you, I'm not one of them. I'm not. The winner gets a fucking trophy. Who gives a shit? If the winner was going to get a championship match, say at SummerSlam or something like that, I throw Daniel Bryan's name right in there. But here's my scenario. I want Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble in 2019. And the reason I do that is because then that would give his ticket to WrestleMania 35 to possibly win one of the titles. I would love to see Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That would be fucking phenomenal. Karis, get your tail out of the camera. So, what I'm going to go with, give the thing to Braun Strowman. You've built Braun Strowman up to be this unstoppable monster. I can't say I'm a big fan of his babyface push, but at this point, I'll take it. Give Braun Strowman this win. Yeah, I'd get a trophy, but bragging rights too. First time ever. There's never going to be another first time ever. So Braun Strowman is my pick for this thing. And I think, people can shit on that all they want. It just, Daniel Bryan winning it does not make sense. Save that for the Royal Rumble, the actual Royal Rumble. That's my other beef with this pay-per-view. This thing is coming 3 months after what I think was a fantastic Royal Rumble this year. You know, Shinsuke winning the men's, Asuka winning the women's. I thought two great Royal Rumble matches. Now you're throwing a third one in this year, and it's a 50 man. You know, don't want to say it's overkill, but it almost is. And then, of course, now you got Backlash coming in another week. So it's like you got to correlate this with what is going to take place at Backlash. So that's my predictions. Like I said, could be way off. You know, I didn't do the greatest at WrestleMania, so hopefully we'll see what happens here. Programming note as well, I do want to, I got a couple movies I want to do. I'm going to debut a new show called Real Reviews. I mean, it's going to be me just talking into a camera, I would like to get that done sometime next week, but with the wedding coming, it's going to be a little bit hard. Again, greatest Royal Rumble review. I'm going to try at the absolute latest to get that to you guys Sunday. To get that. That way it gives me a chance to watch the rest of what I missed today. I'm also going to do a Backlash preview sometime probably midweek. I'm going to try to get that out to you guys. And then I'm going to be on my honeymoon the night of Backlash, so you guys won't get a Backlash review. I might do one when I get back. Actually, I think I will, because I don't want to do a predictions video, but not a review. I don't want to do that. So that's kind of what my schedule looks like. Again, I apologize that this video is coming up a little late, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think is going to happen today? Feel free to leave comments. I'll read them. So that being said, guys, take care. Thank you for watching, and make sure to comment and subscribe. So until next time, guys, see ya.